Welcome to the mini lesson on the law of sines. Today we're going to be looking at the ambiguous case, our side-side angle triangle, when we're given two side lengths and an angle measurement. The reason why this is a special case is because it's called the ambiguous case because we have three results that can form. We could have one triangle that can form, no triangle that can form, or two triangles that can form. We'll talk briefly about how each one of those cases can hold and when they occur. But before I jump into that, let's talk a little bit about this program that I'm using. The program is called Geometry Sketchpad, GSP for short, and a lot of things here move. So notice that I have a lot of things color coordinated. I have one side length A, B in green. I have another side length BC in blue, and I have our angle measure A in orange. Now, the reason why I like using Geometry Sketchpad is because I can move a lot of these things around. So notice that as I move point B around, I can change the measurement of my angle A, and I could change the length of my side length AB. And also I have this length here, BC, linked to this little independent side right here, where as I change this, my BC will change length. So the length here is going to be exactly the same length up here. Also, notice that this side length, it's completely independent from everything. So when considering the side-side angle case, it doesn't matter what length this side is, or what angle measure B is, or what angle measure C is going to be when I attach it to my independent side. We're just considering forming a triangle with these three pieces of information. So given this information, the triangle formed here would look something like that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about when we have one case, when we have a one case scenario. So if I show you my height here, the height of the triangle, and if I show you a circle that is going to be formed with this side length being the radius of my circle, we can see here that if I try to swing this length around, it only intersects this last side length at one spot, and that is right there. That independent side length will only be intersected by this circle right here. And let's look at what exactly is going on here. We have BC longer than AB and longer than my height. So that's when I have one triangle being formed. There's another time when I have one triangle being formed. So we'll talk about that in a second here. So notice that as long as BC is longer than my height and longer than AB, I have one triangle being formed. So I can change the length here, and notice as it changes, notice that the only spot where it intersects is right here. So again, it doesn't matter what length this is, but notice it's not intersecting on this side. So notice I just have one triangle that can form, and it's going to follow this intersection point. Okay, so notice that here I have my triangle that can form. Okay, so the other case where I have one triangle being formed is actually when my side length BC is going to be equal to my height. So if I try to make this equal to my height, the only time that I will have a triangle is when it is the height. So notice I have a right triangle being formed. So this is going to be another time when I have one triangle being formed, when BC is equal to my height and in turn shorter than AB. So my one case scenario occurs when BC is either equal to my height and shorter than AB, or when it is greater than my height and greater than AB. Both of those scenarios will give me one triangle being formed. Now, if we look at our homework, our last homework problem resulted in the case of no triangle being formed. And notice what happened there. In that case, we had our last side length shorter than AB and shorter than my height. So notice that when I try to swing this length around, I do not intersect my last side length. It does not intersect. there's no spot where there's an intersection. So thusly, we have no triangle that can form. The triangle just won't connect. There's no side length given these three pieces of information that are going to connect this to C. So I can try forever, not going to happen. Alright, so that case occurs when AB is greater than BC and greater than my height. So BC is shorter than AB. So pretty much that's when I have no case, when no triangle can form. Alright. So let's talk a little bit about when we have two triangles that can form. Now this is a very curious subject when two triangles can form in this side-side angle triangles. Now notice here that I have two triangles that can form. Notice that my circle intercepts this side length in two spots. It intersects here, but it could also intersect here. And notice, when does this occur? Well, it occurs when BC is shorter than AB. So notice that BC is shorter than AB, but it's greater than my height. So that's going to, when that occurs, I have two triangles that can form. I have a triangle that can form here and a triangle that can form here. And notice that as I change BC, as long as BC is shorter than AB but greater than my height, I have two triangles that can form. So I have a triangle that can form right here, or the triangle that can form right here. Okay? Feel free to pause, rewind, or play back any parts of this video. Also, look at page 649 for additional notes and for additional material that can help when you come into class tomorrow. Don't forget to do your homework, and I will see you tomorrow.